All right, here we are at Fabric Admin, Data Integration Settings, Part 3. We're going to be going over this kind of some cool stuff. If you don't know about these different integrations, they were kind of a surprise to me when I went through them, so I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Okay, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the future videos I got coming out. If you find this useful, hit that like button. Heck, and if you have questions, leave a comment down below. I try really hard to answer all the questions that come in. Maybe I missed some, and for that I apologize. But it really does help me out if you do put that in. All right, so we are on our last items here. Let's take a look at what are we talking about here. We're talking about users can view Power BI files saved on OneDrive and SharePoint in preview. This is actually pretty cool. What this does is users in the organization can view Power BI files saved in OneDrive for Business or SharePoint document libraries. The permissions to save and share Power BI files in OneDrive and SharePoint document libraries are controlled by permissions managed in OneDrive and Share. Okay, that's mumbo jumbo. What does that mean, right? Well, what you basically could do is if you turn this on, if you're saving your Power BI files out in OneDrive or a SharePoint library, now note this has to be business. It can't be like personal stuff, a personal thing. You can go in and you can actually use this, like it's got this new feature here. You can actually preview what this file is. And what's going to happen is this is going to like open up the Power BI file within SharePoint itself. So it's going to load inside of the browser. Now, some notes on when you do this. While it's going to be completely interactive and you can share this report with other people, it does take a little time to load this into the browser. So it's not going to be quite as fast as the Power BI services because it's actively loading this from like storage into memory. And so if it's a small model, no big deal. Larger models, it's going to have you might notice some performance issues here. But the reality is you get to share this just like you do anything else in SharePoint. It's got a whole bunch of great features and functionality that you could do there. You should definitely have this enabled and you should be using it inside your organization. A note, let me get down here. Consideration limitations. All right, let's talk through this. Free users can't do this, okay? You can't do this. You have to have a pro account. It's got to be with OneDrive. It doesn't work with personal OneDrive accounts. It doesn't work in sovereign cloud tenants. It can't be in a data set more than 1 gig, so it has to be under 1 gig. There's a whole bunch of different things in here that you might want to go through and check out. But all in all, a pretty cool feature, especially if you have like an E5 license or everybody's got Power BI Pro or Power BI Premium per user. Like this could be really great for like developers trying to like manage your PBX files someplace, right? It's a cool functionality, all right? All right, next item. Users can share links to Power BI files stored in OneDrive and SharePoint through Power BI Desktop. All right, what does that say? Users who have saved Power BI files in OneDrive or SharePoint can share links using those files. You think it's somewhat similar to what we had before. The reality is it's a little bit different. This is much more focused in on the content creator experience and how we share stuff through Power BI Desktop. For the most part, generally turn this on and enable these capabilities. Otherwise, you're just going to run into a whole bunch of like saving issues that are just a pain in the neck to troubleshoot. So if you're an admin, turn this on, make this available, allow people to go in and do this. A note, if you have like stuff like saved locally, decide where you're going to save that. You might want to change this. This is something that can be useful for people. But generally speaking, there's no issue in getting this up and running. Yeah, do note, like there are a handful of limitations. Doesn't work with personal drives. When you share a link to a file to another person, the recipient has to sign in before they can view the file, and only PBIX files, no PBITs or any of the other flavors out there, okay? So this is a cool feature. Probably enable this for everyone in your company. No real issues here. Now, this is an interesting one. Enable granular access control for data connectors. I kind of like this one because it enforces strict access control for all data connection types. When this is turned on, shared items will be disconnected from data sources if they're edited by users who don't have permission to use the data connections. In other words, if you have someone who's on your team and you don't want them to have access to the back end stuff, if they come back in to do an edit or do something to change that front end or make a change to something, someone who has like access to that back end source has to go in and take that back over. This gives you a review point so that you can test out to make sure whatever changes they did aren't going to actually break anything downstream. Now, this is one that does require like some more like management, and there's some like security constraints around it. Generally speaking, you can leave this one as disabled, but if you're dealing with those types of problems in your organization, this toggle can help you address it, okay? Next one. And I like the next two are really cool. Semantic models, let me zoom in. Semantic models can export data to OneLake. Semantic models configured for OneLake integration can send imported tables to OneLake. Once this data is in OneLake, users can include the exported tables in Fabric items, including lakehouses and warehouses. What does this mean? Well, let's go take a look. That's the connection one. OneLake integration. So you have all of these data sources that you have coming into your model, right? Who knows where all of these are coming from? All sorts of different places are coming in, right? This is going into your model. This is then going into, technically it's going into your Power BI reports then, right? This happens, right? But the tables here are really valuable, right? Like maybe you want to like persist these tables that are created so that others can consume it. Well, with OneLake integration, you'll just see that this data will just flow into Delta files that you can then make available as a direct lake semantic model, so like other people can consume it, or other people could just come in as like you can link to it in a Synapse Data Warehouse or a Lakehouse, right? You could use it in data engineering. So many different possibilities for how you access this without having to like touch your semantic services or your semantic model right here. That's a big deal, especially we talked about before, like a data scientist dude over here, like wanted to like extract all of the information out into his model or do something with it, right? Well, number one, we don't want it to go anywhere. We want it to stay in one place, right? So you could just create that, that link thing that they do between these two, so they don't have to extract it out. But either way, it gets the data into a format that your data scientists, your DBAs, apps people can start to come in and use this and not have concerns with it. Frankly, it's a very cool option for allowing access to your content in semantic models. All right. Users could store semantic model tables in OneLake. This is a connection to that one. Wait, did I do that? Ha 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 ha. Learn it. Open it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was the first one. Ah. Oh, it's the same freaking thing. All right. You need both of these things turned on, right? Enable the semantic models can export data to OneLake, and then users can store semantic models tables in OneLake. Okay, so you need both of these enabled to make that work and operate. All right. So we kind of went through that just now. All the components. Turn them both on and get up and running. All right. Leave a comment down below if you understand why there's two of them. I mean, honestly, they look like they're the same, basically, functionality. So that's it. All right. And then semantic model owners can choose to automatically update semantic models for files imported from OneDrive or SharePoint. Basically, if you're pulling in data in from a SharePoint or OneDrive, you can set this up so that it just automatically updates. It's going to automatically update on like an hourly basis. So it's just, just automatically pulling it in. You don't have to worry about that. But this is just something you can go ahead and set this up to refresh automatically and pull that data right into your model. Okay. All right. Hope you found this useful. If this stuff is confusing, because some of the stuff is a little confusing, right? Hit me up on LinkedIn or over on X. Let me know what questions you got. If you have questions, leave them down below. Heck, we'll answer them as a community together. Or if you need more help, head over to KraiosBI.com, hit on Get Yourself a Data God. Myself or one of my associates will reach out to you, and we will be in touch to help you out. You have a great day. Peace. Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.